Yo, what up guys, it's Dandy and welcome to the new video where I want to look into a topic which has carried many discussions and arguments to this day and for a long time. I can't tell you which opinions are right or wrong, I just can show you how I do this. Yeah, after quite a successful video on mixing, which doesn't get a lot of views, but there were some great responses to this video. You may consider this as sort of a follow-up. The topic of today's video is mastering. Again, I'm not a mastering engineer, but at least I can show you how I approach mastering and like what I do while I master and what is important for me. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay guys, welcome in the project of today's mastering video. Actually, not the project where I do the master, because I master stuff in a separate project. I would like to show you like what I do before even the mastering process for me starts. And for this, I chose my remix of the track Smash Up the Place by Cashew, who is a Croatian producer. With this remix of mine, I actually entered his remix contest. It's not out yet, by the way. I really like how the master on this sounds, and I thought it would be good material to show you like how I do mastering. So yeah, before the mastering starts and I actually export the WAV file to the mastering project, I do some minor preparations. Before I even start to produce a track, these two effects I basically like put in the master chain to get started the track. This is how I start my track. On the master I have OTT, which is rather rare, I would say, but yeah, on every track I put an OTT on the master channel and put the depth knob on 1% and turn the upward compression all the way down. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, but it may be just a placebo. I'm just used to work like this. And after the OTT, I will put on the soft clipper. This is Fruity stock soft clipper. I don't do anything to the settings, it's just the default setting of a soft clipper. In my opinion, helps to cut off some really loud transients and helps to flatten the signal so you get a stable signal in the master. And before I export the pre-master for the mastering project, I put on the Fruity balance, and right after that I put on a Fruity dB meter, which just shows the level of the signal. And before I export this, I actually play the track in the loudest part, which is the drop obviously, and try to reduce the volume on the master that the track wouldn't peak above -6 dB at all, or just peaks around -6 dB to give myself a little headroom for the actual mastering. Let's just play the track. You see that it isn't peaking much above the -6, and if I turn it off, you see it's a bit louder. This is the default value which I end up with finishing my mix down. I just took it by 4 decibels down to get it to the -6, and yeah, that is basically what I do on the master. Now when I have the levels set right, it's time to export the pre-master. I export the pre-master at WAV file, of course, 24-bit for more depth. Some distributors want you to send them tracks in 16-bit, but yeah, you can always like export the master then in 16-bit. 24-bit is better quality in my opinion. I've already exported the pre-master, so let's get into mastering project finally. Okay, so here we are in the mastering project. of my remix. As you're able to see, I've got two different versions. This is like the final version that I submitted for the contest. You are able to notice these automations as well. And what are these? This is just the master volume. It's like a little trick that I use in build up. It is slowly like taking down the volume, so the drop would have a bigger impact. As well as the master automation, I'm doing the stereo separation. Everything is becoming more mono in build up. The track is basically becoming more narrow, and when the drop hits right here, it just opens the whole stereo field and it feels like it has more power. So yeah, that's just a little like acoustic trick that I've been using like forever. Let me just turn on the effects. This is my master chain, and I will turn on the effects one by one and explain everything. The first effect is just a simple parametric EQ, and what I'm doing here is just cutting the lows and cutting the highs. The unnecessary highs and unnecessary lows that we don't really need. And here I'm cutting on 22 Hertz, and highs I'm cutting on around 18 kilohertz. Human ear should be able to hear frequencies 20 Hertz to 20k Hertz, 20,000 Hertz. I'm cutting here at around 18k because it's not like I'm building a wall that nothing peaks above 18k. Yeah, it just smoothing out the high end, so we won't get like super loud transients in those frequencies. And by cutting the lows at 22 Hertz, I'm just making sure that there are no frequencies that we can't really hear. Like it's not that necessary to have something in there like below the 22 Hertz or something. So yeah, I'm getting rid of that unnecessary frequencies that most of the speakers can't reproduce, and we won't hear them anyway. So yeah, moving on to the next effect. It's the compressor, DDR Kotelniko. In my opinion, a really good compressor, and the best part, it's free. And I'm using this mastering punchy preset. I just adjust the threshold for the track to be reducing 2 to 2.5 decibels tops. So yeah, let's like play the track and you'll see what this does. So you're able to see how the compressor is ducking the volume, as I don't want for the track to be too overcompressed. The value that works best for me, like again, it depends from master to master, but usually I stick to around 2 to 2.5 decibels of gain reduction. It makes the track like come together, like blend in basically. And after the compressor, here comes the ozone maximizer, which is, in my opinion, good for making the track loud. And what this does basically, from what I understood, it's a combination of compressor, saturation, and limiting as well. So yeah, I'm using this IRC4 preset with the transient. And on the character, I'm usually going for fast. That means like 0.75 to like 0.90, because I want it to react fast. This is basically the like attack and release or attack adjustment. I turn on the true peak and set the ceiling to minus 0.1 dB, and then I play with the threshold and see what is it doing to the track. Basically, I'm listening. So yeah, we can do that right now. See, if I overdo it, it starts to clip and distort the whole track. I always try to find best value of the threshold for the track to sound clean and sound loud, basically. For this track, minus 6.5, it sounds like this. As you can see, it mainly is reducing the kicks, and the kick and clap combo is not really doing much. It makes the track a bit louder, and that's what I'm aiming for. Mainly in my mastering, it's just really about getting the track to a certain loudness. So yeah, let's move on. And then this is a curiosity, and you can see like 3 different limiters. It may be a little odd, but I feel like it is just working for me. It allows me to make the track even louder than if I was using only one limiter. So yeah, what do this limiter do? Because each of these limiters have different settings. So yeah, the first limiter is of course ozone limiter, and this is the analog glue preset. I just tweaked the preset a bit, looking like this in default settings, and what I'm doing here is I'm turning on the true peak. I'm not messing with the character, and I'm just adjusting the threshold before the limiter. And after the limiter. You can see how the limiter is reducing the sound, and it's really not doing much. That's why I'm using the 3 limiters. Like when you use 3 limiters after each other, the limiters basically aren't on their own and they don't have to do all the work. So I'm taking it just step by step. The second limiter is the gentle limiting preset. It's really just turning on the true peak again, and again I'm not messing with the character at all, and I'm just messing with the threshold. This is how it sounds when I turn it on. And I'm not sure what value was in there before. I might check it in the video. -2 was feeling a little too much for me, so I reduced it -1.5, and again, as you can see, it's really doing not much. It's just taking the peaks from the top. Third limiter is basically just to catch those peaks. It's even set in the preset, catch peaks, and now I'm turning on the true peak. Try to always like put the threshold to -0.5 dB. Ceiling is staying always the same, and I'm reducing the character to 0.75 again, and this is what it does. This last limiter is basically just making sure that no peak get past this limiter. This is the final gate. And then the span, where I'm checking the frequency response. If everything looks good, this is another free plugin. It's Yulin loudness meter, and here I am checking the LUFS, which is basically the loudness. I'm usually trying to go for the value around -6 LUFS integrated, but yeah, with this master I was able to push it a little further because of the mix. Basically, not always I'm able to get suitable mix for the loudness I'm going, so I'd rather have my track less loud on the master than if it was like clipping or distorting a bit. That's basically it, and yeah, I can show you what this plugin does. Yeah, as you can see, it's coming close to minus 5.5, which is already kind of pretty loud in my opinion. Tech house or bass house tracks are usually at around minus 6, minus 6.5, sometimes even minus 7. And yeah, this is basically my mastering chain. To sum this up, EQ to cut the unnecessary highs and lows, compressor to glue the track together, then maximizer, and then series of limiters. That's basically it. Pretty straightforward and simple. And if after the mastering I'm not happy with the result, I just go back to the mix, fix what needs to be fixed, and then I just export, put it to the master, and see how it sounds basically. So I hope you got all the way through the video to this outro. Thank you for watching. Basically, this is how I do my mastering. As I said before, I can't really tell if it's the right way or if it's the wrong way. It just seems to be working for me like this. Also, you can let me know in the comments what works for you, what is your master chain, if you're doing more than just getting to the right loudness. That was the video on mastering. Hope you learned something. Give me a like or subscribe for more videos like this, and see you next time.